MameHaze.
Hello, and welcome to the Twitch Afterstream for the Taito stream I've just done on YouTube. I did 3.5 hours on YouTube looking at F3 games and a few other Taito games and talking about some fixes that have gone into MAME lately. And I thought I would just continue it for a little bit over here on Twitch, as to make sure this channel doesn't get neglected, because I know that there are some people here who are not on YouTube, and likewise. So no, I figured I just make sure to do a bit of a stream here too, and there's still plenty more to cover. I mean, we barely scratched the surface of Taito, to be fair. We looked at a lot of F3 games and the odd other game, but yeah, I figured why not just continue and look at some more F3 games here. The one I'm going to start with is one maybe you won't have seen, because you can't officially play it in MAME without a cheat, and that is the Japanese version of Twin Kicks. Now, the US version is supported in MAME as a prototype, but if you region change it, you get this Japanese version, which is very different indeed. The American version does not have all the cutesy theme to it, which again is something Taito seem to want to strip away from their games, especially for export. So once you switch it to Japanese, you get a very different looking game. It's still a prototype, and as you can hear, it still seems to be using the music from Bobble, so they probably haven't developed their own music at this point in time, but I still think it's an interesting one to look at. So let's just get on with it. So here is our horizontal view. And hey, hello to people in the chat. We've got Aussie Guy back from the other chat. We've got Shut Up Atom also from the other chat, and we've got Dolly. Hey Dolly, welcome. I hope you're doing well. It has been a while, and yes, it's a very rainbowy stream, isn't it? And yes, you may call me mayonnaise, although I don't think it's going to catch on as much as you and Tara would like it to. So good to see you over here. So Twin Kicks. Let's bring it up and see where we go. Oh, right. So yes, it's kicks. So you're covering areas. It's not adult like Gauss Panic. I mean, maybe that's why Taito just abandoned this version in the end, because I think when you see this, you're going to assume it's an adult game if you're used to seeing Gauss Panic. But in this case, no, it's all family friendly. But yes. It is kind of funny that I think Kaneko made more success of kicks, as did the Korean companies, with the adult themes, when the original Taito game was not adult at all, but they would just have cute girls and egg enemies. A bit like Gauss Panic, but not explicit. And I think people just look at this and are going to assume it's explicit, when it's not, which may be the problem Taito faced, but who knows why it didn't come out in the end. It's a shame it doesn't seem to have its own sound design and just has, you know, busty puzzle bobble music. But as far as placeholder for your new game music goes, Taito could have done a lot worse. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it though. Yeah, I mean, Taito did seem to have a problem with reading their audiences. As we've discussed before, we may look at it. Again, the whole Bubble Buster thing, where they stripped all the theming out of Puzzle Bobble for the original American release, where we're quite lucky it got the Neo Geo release, where it had everything. Taito also sold Gauss Panic for Kaneko in Japan only. Is that the version of Gauss Panic that is actually family friendly? Because there is one set that is not explicit. I can't remember which one it is. It might be the Taito Japan version. No, I've got to hit again. But yeah, if you don't region hack this, you get a very different looking game, which we'll probably look at shortly afterwards. But, as always, any suggestions for games you can look at will be taken on board. My focus of the stream on YouTube was mostly trying to look at the F3 emulation improvements. I don't think this has seen any improvements, because I don't think this is really pushing the F3 hardware at all, but who knows? Maybe it has. The Korean set is censored, not the Japanese set. But, It's more so in Korea, I think, Dolly. A lot of the time, it's the Korean games that have the uncensored lady images. Japan, not so often. I don't know. I used to. Unfortunately, I did the emulation for an awful lot of them because many of them are hardware that I understood. So for a while, I did have a bit of a reputation as the person that emulates all those games. But I can't really play most of them on stream because, well, I would get banned very quickly. But yeah, this is just cutesy. I mean, that's a bit like the Arabian magic, isn't it? There. So we'll play another life on this, and I'll just show you what the American release was set to be like. It is always strange when you see these games that are just very different between regions, using the same ROMs basically, just a region by change. So yeah, so this was the Japanese version. You got a ton of glass boards, the Gallico one. Yeah, Volfied as well. I mean, Volfied, I think it's probably a better game. Volfied still has timing issues in MAME. The attract how to play does not work properly. I don't know why. So that was the Japanese version. But yeah, if we look at the what was to be the American release, as far as I know, neither were released. You can see again, as Taito did a few times around this time, they stripped off a lot of the theming. So same music, but you see, now it's got this space theme. And the music really doesn't fit here, does it? But yeah, Twin Kicks. Yeah, so let's play again a single player game of Twin Kicks. Yes, we know the rules. So it's one of those 4 split screen games too, which I'm not keen on. I mean, you know, even if I'm playing it single player here, half the screen is wasted. I don't like it when games do that. I mean, yeah, it means that a second player can join in and drop in, but it means if you're playing as a single player game, you know, most of your screen is not being used. And let's face it, a lot of the time these games would have been played single player. But yeah, you see all the theming's different. No girls, just space backgrounds. No uncovering of anything really. And the image that looks like it's been stolen straight from Deluxe Paints demo. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty terrible at this. I'm uncovering a cool picture of a wall. I am indeed. Oh, there we go. Well, not quite a wall, but a pyramid that's very grey to fit the enemy theme. Yeah, you can kind of see that this wasn't going very far. The Japanese set is indeed a bit better. This is just so generic. Yeah. Let's say the music really doesn't fit this version. Oh look, more landscapes. Woo. It's a bit like the set of Spider where you're uncovering cars. It's like, But anyway. So I don't think this really benefited from any of the F3 improvements, unless some of the you know, fades and blending improved, because Y in the chat before was saying that was kind of where a lot of the improvements were. Was it 12me? Was it 12me? I don't know. One of the two was saying that, and they're the people that were working on the improvements. Okay. Another photograph. They didn't like their photographs at this period in time, didn't they? You say it's placeholder art, but then we saw the backgrounds in Bubble Memories. Which also feel like placeholder art. I really don't know. I guess we're just lucky that these prototypes are dumped at all. Oops. Oh look, Great Wall of China in its grainy glory. So yeah, I think you get the idea anyway. Let's just kill my lives off. Ooh. Game over. That looks very placeholder. It's like Cubit. Cubit was on an infinite grid of cubitness. Yeah, the music's straight from Puzzle Bobble. But I guess they just hadn't done the music for it yet. You did see Taito reuse music in some prototypes, otherwise it's better than it'd be a silent, I guess. But yeah, not the most thrilling one. So what shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? Let's have a quick look at Lightbringer while we're on the F3 system stuff. So I don't know if this one's seen any improvement, but it's a pretty cool game to look at anyway. Isometric dungeon crawler thing. Nice flashy effects in the intro there. And fades.
Lightbringer.
Okay, dungeon magic. Bit isometric hack and slashing. It's almost Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in the corner. Always make sure to smash up the tavern first. Generally good D&D advice. I think this is really meant to be played with multiple players, but now I have a camera or something. I'm not sure. Help me. No. Very dramatic music, but I guess it does fit that fantasy theme. You can dash like that. If you tap the button correctly, you can. Taito weren't the only ones doing games like this. Data East did Wizard Fire, Dark Seal 2. Which has a very similar look to this, in fact. It also makes quite a fair bit of use of blending effects, so do I. Already lost a life. And one of the issues here is you can only attack left and right, not up and down. So while it's presented in an isometric way, it doesn't really control in an isometric kind of way. There are multiple paths, as you can see. Yeah, I can talk to you and get a weapon. Yeah, Wizard Fire. Alright, Wizard Fire's not a bad game. If anything, I might prefer Wizard Fire over this. But, I don't know. Preference really, I guess. Go up. Well, thank you. Not really the direction you're going, is it? Diagonally. Look, it's a bit of a trap. Put that. The Street Fighter-esque graphics are throwing you off. I guess it is a little like that. I mean, I think it's very traditional Taito graphical stuff. Okay, remember to jump. Can I jump all the way there? Probably not. So, let's just ignore the chest. Can I get up there? And if I do a bit of isometric platforming, yeah, now I've got a crossbow. But again, you can only fire left or right, so... yeah, it's a 2D game with isometric backgrounds, basically. Which is a bit of a weird combination. It's also got isometric platforming. Yeah, I made it sure I couldn't get up there by throwing the barrel up there, didn't I? That was silly of me. Yeah, budget Shadows over Stara. Or Tower of Doom. Capcom definitely did it better with their D&D games. And also the ones that came before it. Knights of the Round, Magic Sword and stuff like that. I think Capcom had a better grip on this kind of thing than Taito here. Okay. But yeah, it's got sort of RPG elements. Look, see, I'm opening doors and oh, look, it's a sort of trappy room. But is it fun?
You just powered up.
I just powered up. Did I say hopping over spikes? Now I've got a big sword, but probably not for long. I noticed there's a blending effect across the whole screen here that's making it darker towards the top. I don't remember that being in old emulation. Because you can see the banding of it. Right. Okay, okay, Snake.
Just powered up.
Do I attack the segments? Do I attack the whole thing? I don't know what I attack. It's never good when you don't really know what you're meant to be attacking on a boss. I think you can attack the segments just about. But it's, yeah, the hit click protection is not great on this one. But yeah, I don't remember that fade on the screen before, so maybe that is new, or maybe I just never noticed it before. Yeah, the palette edition shading effect, Wyack is one of the people who's been improving the emulation in MAME, so yeah, they know what's improved, but yeah, that just seemed like one of the improvements. Quite a minor one, but still one. This giant stick. See, you kind of expect the segments to die individually, but they don't. Just got the overall health bar. Yeah. Let's get out of there. Oh, now we get the boss, do we? Statue. Well, that was a trap statue. I had no way of knowing that was a trap statue until I hit it, but it was a trap statue. But yeah, you can kind of explore the levels a bit. You do get the map, so you know there is that element to it, which I suppose is quite neat. And again, I should have really jumped on the chest before opening it, just so that I could get one higher up, but I didn't. No mistake. Through this way. Look, we're not even at the boss yet. Roadblock. Maybe it's more fun with two players. The fiery stick now. Let's jump on the spikes. You can't smash up the skeletons, get a bit of cheese. It's, as everybody knows, cheese grows on skeletons. Destroy both of those. Nope, the gate does not want to open yet. Oh, do I have to empty things in the room? I don't know. Can I not pick that up? Okay, I'll go that way. Okay, more moving platforms. My favourite thing. Again, the music's good, but that's because it's a Taito game on F3. Beat up skeletons, get cheese, exactly. That is how I live my life, beating up skeletons and getting cheese. So this is a dead end by the looks of it. Oh look, now I'm a tiny frog, because why not? What's in the chest apart from spikes? Oh, just
powered up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be in this room, so... I mean, Knights of Valor 3 tried to do something similar as well with the going from room to room, pseudo-RPG elements. I don't think it even worked there. Let's get off from you silly bats. So yeah, I took a wrong path and now I'm going around in a circle just to get back out the room. There. And I guess I do want to go out this exit, so I was right the first time, but I didn't go this way. Room. That's the last room, I think. Right. You're a room guardian. Okay. I'm an exploding person. Ooh, weapon. Oh, I threw it away. And here we are in the boss room. I don't care what you've got to say. Let's do the desperation attack again. Ow.
Just powered up.
Yeah, I mean that is what I've always found with the F3 games. The puzzle games are all solid. The puzzle bubbles, Pop and Pop, Landmaker, all that stuff. But a lot of the action games are a little bit hit and miss. I mean, as I said earlier, when I was testing Arabian Magic off stream the other day, I even managed to crash the game on the first level twice. I used the special attack right before the first boss and caused the game to do a divide error, and then another time I kind of somehow got the enemies to all follow me into a corner, after which it soft-locked the game and they wouldn't scroll anymore. So I think some of the games are also really badly programmed. Definitely a mixed bunch of games on the platform. I want the sword. Oh, can I not get the sword? Oh, it's the enemy sword that just happened to be floating there. Not something I can pick up. Let's do some wrestling moves on this. You're still alive. Let's look on something. Oh no, you just walk to the middle of the room to die and say, what on earth are you doing here? Yes, yes, yes.
Just powered up.
Okay, let's get some stuff out chests. chicken. Go to next scenario. Okay. And it looks pretty much the same. It's just got a bit more story and blah 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 blah. Oh, it's same on the already faced. Oh, it's a mimic. How fun. Is that a secret exit there? Or is that just the exit? Let's do a runner. Spiteful, yes I know. No. Will not let me out of the room yet? Oh, I have to do that first? Okay. Dungeon Magic 4-player. Yeah, I think it does support 4-player, doesn't it? Do you have to enable 4-player in the menu? I think configuration, yeah, for 4-player. So it does support 4-player if you do that. But yeah, if you really want a multiplayer gauntlet clone, you can enable 4-player just like that. And therefore... Oh, look, we have 4 players.
Grand, Ash, Sisty, Bold.
What? 4-player Dungeon Magic. Just think it... Oh, I pressed the tilt button. T is not a movement button, it is the tilt. So yes, let's not play 4-player Dungeon Magic. Yeah, 1993. I don't know, that was around the time the Capcom beat-em-ups were coming out, the Dungeons and Dragons style ones, so it sort of makes sense. Okay. Let's have a look at Space Invaders 95 anyway. I don't know if anything has improved on it, but since we're playing these F3 games, we may as well see if anything stands out as maybe being better than it was before. I didn't have any cheats on it. Oh no, Wyack. It was just a bit weird. They glitched the game a few times in a row just by playing it. I don't know if it's because I was playing it badly. But then I went home and did a similar thing and got the enemies stuck. So I think it's just the game. Maybe if you just don't play it how it expects you to play it and sort of just spam buttons and you mess it up. But I did manage to get the divide error again just by triggering the magic attack at maybe the exact wrong moment before the boss. So I think it overflows something in the game. So this is very cute Space Invaders. In fact, I think this might be the best Space Invaders game that Taito put out in the 90s. It's almost a parody of Space Invaders. But yes, very colourful. Makes good use of the F3 hardware. Well, I don't know if it pushes too many effects on it. It looks pretty, but on a technical level, is it doing much? And yes, you have your charge shot, which is what I'm using to take out the rows of enemies. Golden gun. Yeah, this is good fun. I'm saying, I don't know if anything has improved in it though. I don't know if it's actually just cute rather than pushing the hardware. This reminds me of Pop and Bounce on the Neo Geo as well, the way the enemies split here. Although that is distinctly less cute, and the Pop and Bounce on the Neo Geo is kind of forgettable. It's not terrible, but it's not a Neo Geo game that anybody ever talks about because it's kind of forgettable. It does support the spinner controller though. Gallagher style bonus round. I think. Fight the boss. Yeah, charge shots, bosses, bonus rounds. It's sort of a bit like Cosmo Gang that Namco put out, and Gallagher 88. I think it was more like a Namco game than a Taito game. This, but good use of the Space Invaders IP, I think. I don't think they've done anything sort of this nature since They're getting too low. Let's just clear off the line of Invaders. Yeah, it's very Gallagher more than Invaders. It almost feels like something that would have been sort of co-developed by Namco, but I don't think it was. I think it's just Taito taking heavy influence from what Namco do. You can't move up and down. That's one of the weird things. I know it's Space Invaders, but it feels like you should be able to move up and down, but then again, things like the bases would not work then. But yeah, considering after this, they sort of released anniversary versions of the games, and so the one on GNet, which is really dull. And then modern ticket games, I don't really like them. I know some people do like the new Fever one, but I thought it's okay at best. Yeah, I'm not seeing much use of the fancy effects here though. It's just gone for the ridiculousness with the graphics themselves rather than the hardware effects. I'm dropping knives and forks on you if you haven't noticed. Yeah, I mean, this actually feels like an F3 game rather than Invaders DX, which was like, why? Well, I suppose Space Invaders was still popular enough that they could just re-release versions of it almost untouched, and people would play it just for the nostalgia even back then. I can't be edges first, as always the strategy. Oh. Don't die. Let's have another look at some of the shooters in a bit, I think. Not the other vertical shooters. Gekirindan and Lunar. They want it in their mouths, apparently. I get hit by something. Much of the pink is in the background? I just look around the screen and there's always something to notice in this one. Star Parody, I think that was Hudson, wasn't it? Yeah. Wait, this is a bonus round again, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, clear off the enemies before they disappear off the screen. And yes, the formation spell bonus, I see what they've done. Charge shots only get rid of 2 though, so they can use this. Which is just a case of precision and speed. Yeah. Again, they're mixed up a little bit, not the same as the previous bonus round. After this bonus stage of weapons to die. Oh yes. Warning a huge battleship. Now this looks like we've got some line effects going on. Not fancy ones, but still line effects. And yes, that's one of the Darius ships, but the Taito do like to do that, throwing little references to their other games, and as Aussie Guy says, we once again have a Darius reference here, or a Darius, or whatever you want to call it. Shall we move away from F3 after this for 1 or 2 games? I think we should. I don't want it to just be F3 games, and take a few after win again actually, so we'll probably do some non-F3 ones, and then we'll look at the some F3 shooters probably. Music sounds 100% parodious. I mean, even the little octopus thing was kind of parodious, wasn't it? And these things look like Mr. Blobby babies. Yeah, it's true. I say more traditional Space Invaders mechanics are trying to get to the bottom, but jumping in holes along the way this time. Even the explosions, the firework explosions are very Gallagher 88 though, aren't they? The Cosmo Gang. Now the base things are sandcastles. Work with placed charge shots. I think one of my favourite parody style games is Psycho's Space Bomber. But obviously I won't be playing that today because it's not. Yep, we got to the bottom, invade, which means I failed the stage, I believe. In fact, I lose a life. If we get to the bottom, just like Space Invaders, you outright lose. So you know they kept that. Keep them away from the bottom. Yep. Yeah, Super Space Invaders is an odd one because the Mega Drive game is very different to the arcade as well. I mean, everything about this really looks like Cosmo Gang. But that's fine. Let's stop them getting to the bottom then. Nope, you're not doing this right. Oh, nope. Can do anything about that. Oh yeah, so you do just lose a life, but it was just because I was on my last continue last time that the game made me continue again. Fair enough. I mean, it's still forced you to start the stage again, but it's not instant game over. Good. But yeah, we're not seeing much use of hardware effects on this one, from what I can tell. I think that line scroll effect on the dial is... Yeah, once they go past you there, you can't do a thing because they're as fast as you. So we'll probably play this a little bit longer, then I'd say, play the odd non-F3 game. And there we go. There's some cloud. Now it's Twinbee. Oh, more lines roll. How many stages? I don't know. So we'll be finishing this fairly soon. At least the stages are varied. I mean, it's keeping things mixed up the whole way through. No two stages have felt quite the same. The opposite of Space Invaders in that sense, where every stage is the same. The difficulty balance is a little all over the place though. Some are a lot easier than others. But there we go. It's not likely that. Anyway. Let's Space Invaders 95. The attack of Lunar Loonies. Probably one of the more enjoyable things I had to do with Space Invaders. Anyway, as I say, non-F3 time. Let's have a look at a different shooter, Metal Black, on the F2 platform. Yeah, the clouds look very Twin B. Hey, more salty. Yeah, the F3 emulation is much improved, which is why I've been playing a lot of F3 games. Lots of effects that weren't previously there are now there. A few things aren't quite right, as I pointed out on the YouTube part of the stream. The football game replays are still broken. But, yeah, much improved. So, let's play a bit of Metal Black. Now, this isn't an F3 game, but this shows that Taito were doing all sorts of fancy tricks, even on their F2 hardware. So, yeah. I'm going to let the intro play, because it's a pretty neat intro. Yes, apparently the sequel to Gun Frontier, even though it's a very different style game. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do a sequel to this on F3, actually. You know, push the effects even further, but this is what I was saying, the desert level in Darius Gaiden reminded me of the desert level, and there's the start of this. Yes. Taito did pull out all the stops with their effects. Look at the title screen effect there as well. I mean, I know Pure Pure does similar, say, game, but it's still a pretty unique effect. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the gameplay in this one, but, you know, visually, can't fault it. All these layers of scrolling. Layers of parallax. There's no pickup sound, you'll notice. One thing I found a little bit weird. The explosions have a distinct, very quick look to them. So visually it's a bit different. Not traditional. It was a mistake, wasn't it? Yeah, I always make that mistake. Don't go in the corner. You get stuck. I forgot that again. Yeah, I guess you do need auto fire to again, a bit like Darius Gaiden, you really want auto fire. But everything's a bit bullet spongy otherwise. And I know a lot of Japanese cabs did have an auto fire button, but relying on it is a bit silly. It's a plague of frogs. Yeah, I'd say it was standard on cabs, but I mean, it wasn't outside of Japan. Oh, another weird colour cycling. Looks like a Japanese B horror movie. The bomb effect here is very Darius Gaiden too. Oh, there's too much going on. But the dithering on something like those lasers just feels very sort of home computer. It's definitely a mix of visual styles. Didn't Aussie Guy mention before there's a connection between this and Penguin Brothers, hence why the crabby enemy is in Penguin Brothers, the Subscene published game? There we go. That's a very Godzilla style death explosion there as well. Bonus stage. Target the enemies, lock on and blow them up. It's gone to this first person type game now, which we will see again later. Bonus points. I mean, yeah, Taito games, even if they're bad games, always have fantastic music. If we're talking shooters, Mega Blast, the soundtrack's fantastic. The shooters all over the place. Okay, I got zapped. But, yeah. It's worth playing this for the soundtrack. Visually, it's got all these fancy effects, but at the same time, some of the artwork does feel kind of almost Amiga-ish. I mean, it's a style. Oh, look, full power laser beam, which I just wasted. Never mind. I should have really saved that. There we go. Look at that. Again, we've got the parallax on the background there as the stars start moving quickly. Very fancy. So this isn't even F3, and they're doing all these fancy effects. Yeah. Quite the delight. That was silly, isn't it? Oh dear. We're going for a little bit. Not for too much longer, because say the focus isn't really to show off with the Taito games. But sometimes it's nice to anyway. Oh dear, enemy moon. It is not really a moon. Just an egg. Rather abrupt background colour change there, but take big beam. Still looks like SDI now. A little bit. I quite like SDI. Unique control scheme. Not Taito game, that's a safe game. It kind of looks like R-Type as well. There's enemy design. Also, it looks like me losing a lot of Sanko with this. So you really do need that auto fire to get the fire rate you need to take this down in good time. Okay, you've got a bigger blaze than me. Fair enough. I do like the bosses, the way they change colour. That's something Fantasy Zone did to good effect too. See how close to death they are by the colour. This one's been red for a while. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Takatsuna Semba was the director of Metal Black, who also did work on Penguin Brothers vs. Casino. That's what I was thinking of as a guy. So here we've got more sort of tunnel effects. And say, very similar to the one seen on Darius Gaiden. I suppose this is a bit like the Darius, what life was to Gradius in the sense, very similar ideas. I mean, you've even got the fish there, or it's definitely got some Darius influences. It was originally going to be Darius 3, but then it became Gun Frontier 2. So let's see. Yeah, you see, again, you've got backgrounds here that are doing all sorts of wavy effects in the attract mode. Visually quite an impressive one. But anyway, let's just play something completely different with it. Let's play Cameltry. Cameltry is actually kind of interesting because there were sets with different video hardware, different sound hardware. But I'm just going to play the parent set for now. So let's just so I've got the mouse. Let's do the beginner course. This is the rotate the maze with. This did get released on the SNES, I believe. So the arcade version with this super smooth rotation is well, I definitely want to look at. If you want a good time, obviously not hitting the walls is preferable to hitting them all the time. Oh, yeah, hit the X's, that's bad. You don't want to hit the X's. Just spelling out the game name there, wasn't it? Irritating Maze, yeah, the Neo Geo game. Irritating Maze is more like one of those funfair things, you know, carnival things. Whereas this is not something you could physically recreate as easily. At least not on this scale. I think one of my favourite takes on this is Bob's Bad Day on the Amiga, but to my knowledge that still doesn't run in our Amiga emulation, unfortunately. Gekirindan, I've played it a few times. It's not one of my favourites, but I will probably look at it in a bit. It's on my list of things to do after we play some non-F3 games, because it does use effects in quite a few places, so I don't know if any of them have been improved. Let's see a little gate there. Bad one. Also, of course, easy to be reminded of the Sonic 1 bonus stages of this game. So is it worth going there for the extra 5 seconds? It might have been, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at pretty much any game more Salty 7, so I mean, I'm not going to be one seeing anything, but I will show them. So I don't know how different the sounds are on the set of this, which has different sound hardware. Not something I've really studied, but it is interesting to know that there are different versions on different boards where the sound hardware was changed. I'm not even sure the reason for that. For a long time, the 6295 ROM on the other set wasn't even dumped because it wasn't really obvious where it was on the PCB. I think it's an unmarked masked ROM. So this isn't the version with that hardware though, but we will probably switch to that after this, just because we can. There we go. The beginner course. So congratulations. There we go. Blue Marble even looks nice. Nice play, they lived happily ever after. Congratulations on your happiness in a place that doesn't look especially happy. Marbles. Okay. You tilt this is kind of neat. They like that rotation. Again, they could have done something like this on F3 as well, but they didn't. Nice little homage to Trick Trap there. I'm not sure what that was. I'm not that familiar with Trick Trap though. So yeah, as I say, there are clones of this one, which is interesting. So yeah, the world set, that's the set. That's right. This set has different sound hardware. It's got the 2283 and a 6295. Let's go with the... Probably not going to get too far on this, but it's a fun game. And a bit different to everything else we've been looking at so far. But yeah, after this we will put some more F3 games on. I don't know if the volume balance is quite right between the chips, but I do always wonder why you get games with different sound configurations. Is it a cost thing? Did they originally design a board for a different game that didn't come out, so they wanted to reuse it, so just adapted something they had? Never really know. Ew. Oh, didn't even get the 5 seconds. This is not good. Cameltry cancelled. Pebble Pool. Were they tested at the same time? Was this the one that was chosen over Pebble Pool? It's not difficult to see why, but I thought Pebble Pool would be sort of more in the market to compete with something like Plotting or Puzznik, one of the smaller scale puzzle games. One-way system. Woo. Oh, I'm running out of time. No. A few chance. Get some more time. There we go. You have to press the button. The button does give you a bit of a boost. Like, it's like a tilt button. If you get stuck in places like that, it's important. Other than that, I don't really know when it's best to use it. Maybe if you know you're heading towards something you not to head towards. Don't listen to help though. Yeah, I'm dead. Well, and we'll try to perform better. I'm not too surprised. The ball shatters. Dead. I don't wish to continue then. There you go. Okay. I was going to play Liquid Kids, but maybe later. Let's play Gekirindan, one of the more unusually titled F3 games. Not really one that is easy to remember the title of. It's not an especially catchy title. And yeah, visually, it's a little questionable. Pre-rendered stuff that's not aged too well, at least there in the intro. But let's see the game. It's one with the time travel, I believe. Oh, look, fancy line effects. Would the demo show us anything interesting? And this kind of reminds me of a Kaneko game. You got things like Explosive Breaker, which, okay, that's a lot uglier than this. But there are a certain Kaneko feeling to this one. Even a certain sort of low-budget Korean game at times, but yeah, let's queen it up and have a play. Also slightly Dodonpachi if you look at Dodonpachi, the original Donpachi, if you look at this screen. It's definitely got a mix of influences. Oh look, zoom play. All these medals are maybe the toe planning got the eagle medals like this quite often. I can't remember. No one of the different. Don't fall into rocks. Again, quite bullet spongy in terms of some of the parts of this. There you got explosion, man. Good on. Yeah, straight up Dodonpachi. Did this? I'm assuming Dodonpachi came first, but I'm not sure. Again, you've got the tunnel here using some of the palette blending effects that were improved in previous updates. Not one of the recent improvements. Yeah, I forgot about that. Not one of the recent improvements. Still, if you've not used it in MAME for a long time, played this in MAME for a long time, you may not have seen that either. No 1cc for me. Yeah, I've not played this in a while. Yeah, all these ship designs just feel like they're from somewhere else. That's the one thing that strikes me about this one. These just feel like stolen designs. I know how I always felt about this one. This is the time travel one, isn't it? I'm thinking of a different game. Weird mobs that look like they may have been computer generated rather than hand drawn. Maybe it's intentionally going for that feel, but yeah. Again, excellent soundtrack though. I mean, you cannot fault the soundtrack. Whatever you want to say about the rest of the game. No, you're going to have to go to the port, aren't you? Yep. Look, Wendy line effects. Actually looks rather nice at this point. Yeah, after the OSTs are all absolutely, yeah, they're time travel. Now we're in 1942. The OSTs, I don't think there's a sort of a released F3 game with a bad soundtrack, and then even some of the unreleased ones have decent sound. I mean, Command War soundtrack was it's rather good. To get to the fortress. Yeah, it's to have that time travel mechanic, a bit like Time Soldiers and things like that. So. And obviously Time Pilot. I don't know how many Taito games have time travel though. Time travel does make it a bit more difficult to reuse assets. You have to draw 3 things suitable for each time period. Day night, babe. Thanks, it takes too many shots. Documentary in 1942. I'm sure it went down exactly like this. Time Gal has time travel, yep. Oh look, F3 blending effects on the lights. Are those correct? I will assume so. Oops, I died. Oh, bullets. Fire. Oops. Wrong place. More time travel is up. Oops. Explosions. Okay. Credit food. My weaving techniques enough, very good. Oh dear. Well, somebody should have stopped the boat. I don't even need to cause the destruction, it is being caused for me. Oh, my fire shotgun. Oh no, I've lost my fire shot. This is going to be a boss. Not bombing time. But yeah, apart from the time travel parts, there's not that many effects used in this game, unfortunately. But I don't know if there's any. Hello, big laser. I don't know if there are any improvements to this one. Yeah, it's a nice effect here, but that may be it. We should probably look at gun lock next, shouldn't we? Oh look, now we're far into the future. Ooh, low store effects, but only basic ones. Anyway. So Gekirindan, yeah, it doesn't give the best first impression, especially not with this pre-rendered intro and some of the obvious rip-off designs, but it's a fun enough game. It's probably, as mentioned in the chat, probably one of the easier ones if you're actually any good at all at shoot-em-ups, which I am not. But yeah, give it a try if you've not tried it, and we will switch to a better known one. Not Ray Storm, a Ray Force, isn't it? That's one. Ray Force, the F3 ones. Ray Storm's the sequel on PlayStation hardware, which is not what we want to do. So, we're going to the American version. Did I turn this up in service mode? Hold on. I do have to make sure to turn these up in service mode. That seemed a bit quiet. Sound test. No, I didn't. There we go. Raid Force, AK, Gunlock. So this is the one where you target things in the background. Not your lasers. So this is a bit like Sega's Galaxy port in the sense that you're locking onto targets and then launching missiles at them, or even Afterburner, but as a 2D shooter. That lock-on mechanic is definitely found in those older Sega games, even if they're sort of into the screen. Yeah, I lost that already. Again, I don't really know how much in the way of hardware effects this one makes use of. But, good looking game. It always has been a good looking game. Definitely put Arabian magic in a bit there. Yep, again a great soundtrack, as Atom says. I don't think Taito do bad soundtracks. At least not in this era. Oh, there we go. There's some nice blending. Look at those. Look at that. I am terrible at this though. Again, lasers at the base. I really should be more careful about lasers and getting out of the way of them. Not yet. I do that. It goes down to a little narrow red line. You played the PS1 version first. I mean, yeah, the 3D game is... I quite like it. I think the art is better here. I mean, PlayStation art... questionable. I wonder when Raid Crisis will get properly fixed in MAME, the third one. Because at the moment it's fine until you get to the last boss, and then the last boss does a certain attack and the game resets, which is weird and makes me wonder if it's a bad dump, but I don't think it can be a bad dump, so it's probably this one's PlayStation emulation. Or it's just a buggy version of the game. I don't know. But yeah, Raid Crisis in MAME will reset on the last boss for reasons unknown. Speaking of games that are buggy at the moment, I still need to go and have a look at why Skullcrown crashes lately, because that will always, pretty much always crash at the moment. It's more or less a non-working game now. We've got some impressive use of the line effects. Okay, we appear to have some spam in the chat, please ignore that. Yeah, I'm not sure how to delete those on this. Oh, yes, delete message. Delete message. There we go. Never mind. Yeah, I might need to set up some moderation on here actually, Aussie guy. I'll have to get around to that. I accidentally deleted the wrong message, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. But yeah, fancy effect on the earth background here as well. I mean, so it is using Rose Scroll. I'm not sure it's using the advanced modes that we've seen fixed lately, but definitely not pushing things the way Darius does or elevator action. Good use of the zooming on the sprites as well. Some sort of blending effect there, with blue effect. That's a weird blue thing when it does the appear-disappear there. I don't know if that looks correct. You need to do the whole width of the screen and it looks like it should maybe just be on the area of the boss, but I don't know. It's weird. Maybe that's just how it's meant to look. This looks weird. Look, explosion. Phantasm of Silver. Entering the Earth's atmosphere, or whatever planet this is. Yep, Taito wants these things to look pretty. This music does have sound in it that sound like the lock-on sound effect, which is a little distracting. Good crater, reminds me of Raiden. Blended clouds. there's a rose swirl effect going on in the water here, which making a wavy effect. So yeah, all over the place, just little use of the effects the hardware can do. Not paying attention. Yeah, very good music track on the stage. Another lace to the face. I'm getting good at taking these laces to the face, I can see so. Oops. No problem. Have those right angle lathes in Darius too. Yeah, the whole stage was just really well played out. And then it just continues into this stage by dropping through the clouds. You didn't get that many games that were this sort of well presented at this period. Ikaruga later did it with the Dreamcast, where you've got lots of the transitions. No, Taito definitely made an effort with this one to, make the whole experience seem kind of seamless, but also make sure each stage is uniquely identifiable with the transitions. Really is very, very well done. Peek into a base down there too. Yeah, I think we've seen enough of this one anyway, so... a very good looking game. Show me, see the whole journey I reached there, even in the end sequence. The game over sequence just shows me the path I took. Well, you only take one path, but it shows you what happened. I think one of the bug fixes was a very minor thing. There were some leftover black sprites on the title screen before, which are now gone. But compared to the rest of the visuals in the game, you probably weren't really going to notice that. But yeah, I think get the idea. So we're going to stick on F3. Probably should. I don't know if there's any improvements to be seen in some of these other games, but why not? Actually, let's talk about one thing that isn't a bug. I'm not going to play much of this game, but top ranking stars. It's the boxing game. Now, when you watch the track mode for this one, you see the bio screen with the fighter bios on. Sometimes, not every time, so we may see it now, we may not.
Top ranking stars.
Not this time around. Let's wait until the next track loop then.
Nemesis
So those screens there. You notice the fighter appears in front of the text. That is correct. That is how the PCB looks. Just skip through some of them. Let's see another one. Another one? Not yet. Only go occasionally. There we go. Again, let's say the fighter. And I think this is one of the ones where, if you look at the time maps themselves, yeah, look, the actual the text is bigger than what fits on the screen. Because if you see the last line on the screen, it's the line that starts boxing profession. But it actually also says he's known for his long straight punches, and you never see that because it's never scrolled and is always behind the fighter. But yeah, that's what the PCB does. That is not a bug. That is just sort of lazy presentation. Not really sure what they were going for, but yeah, that's been verified to happen just like that on the PCB. Yeah, that's by design. That is not an emulation bug.
Round one.
I think they wanted a certain look, but it just looks bad. But yeah, we've got PCB footage that shows it exactly the same there, so that's not a main problem. You got your damn monster, haven't you? Ow. You're down again. Doing too well, eh?
1, 2, 3,
And around. Oh, that's a weird blendy transition there. That might be new. I don't know.
Round two.
You've got your standard boxing rules where 3 KOs in a round will see you out, but you've also got your overall energy bar. Oop.
The winner is
There we go.
Bruce Hashmikoff.
Final blow, but trying to be Street Fighter 2. Yeah. What's interesting with F3 is there were some bootlegs back in the day too of things like Bubble, was it Bubble Symphonies or Bubble Memories that's got a bootleg? But the bootleg is pretty much like MAME's old emulation in the sense that a lot of the effects don't work on it. So yeah, that's fun.
The winner is Storm Viper.
CPU win. Look, another fancy name entry screen. That's a lot of high score names. So, what's kind of interesting, I think I'm right with this. If you look at Primetime Fighter, the American version, We speed through the track mode a little bit. As you can see, it does not seem to show those bio screens at all. It seems they took them out of this version, which maybe means they knew they looked really bad. Oh no, so it does appear eventually, so it's just rarer. So no, they do still appear, just not as frequently maybe. It took a lot longer for that to appear in a track mode than it did in the other one, unless it's just random, but yeah, I don't know. So they're still there. They still look just as bad. So, I don't know. I really don't know. So, anyway. Let's have another look at one of the F3 prototypes. This is Recalhorn, which I think has better brightness control now. I seem to remember this being really, really dim in previous versions. No, this is quite quiet again. It says the sound volume is on maximum though, so it's probably a prototype thing. Ooh. Anyway, so this one might be a bit quieter than the others. Bubble Soul Symphony is one of the Bubble Symphony bootlegs, yeah. I think that's the one where the PCB doesn't emulate most of the effects properly, so it just has a lot of the line scrolls and blending broken on the PCB. So Recalhorn. The bonus items. Yeah. So this feels more like a console platformer than an arcade game, which you know, maybe why it was unreleased. It's a shame it was unreleased though, because it's kind of cute. Yeah, it does feel too much like a console game, which is probably the problem with it. Probably why it got cancelled. But I'm surprised it didn't turn into a console game and just sort of vanished entirely. That was mean. You can't transform into anything until you have the other things to transform into. That's a very console end of level sequence too. Maybe they should have just done a home version of the F3 system. Although I think it would have failed miserably, like most attempts to bring arcade systems home did. There we go. Have a little scrap. Get a coin. What this means is I can press the other button and go, hey. And I want to be this character. Well, ride on this character's back. Hurry up. Yes. Climb up here. Touch it. Okay. Quite ugly blending that waterfall there, but I think that's just the game in this case. Willow, Mega Man, Little Nemo. Yeah. I mean, say, no, there were arcade platform games. It could have potentially done okay, but it really isn't designed like an arcade game. It does feel like it belongs on a console. Stuck in a pit. Now it's Lion King. Literally one of the Lion King boss fights. Oh, up we go. It also makes me think of Rayman a little bit. That might be the music. And things like Dino Gears were in the arcades. I think that was 93, wasn't it? And that's full of ridiculous secrets to the point it may as well be a home system game. And I have a seal I can use. Should I want to? I believe that is for... You'll get under there. I only have one of them though. Yes, you see I can go in there and get secrets. And swim around in the blended water. Into the water. I can't get any higher with the bubbles. Secrets. Up here. What's that one? Oh, got hit. And I go to the checkpoint. That's what those touch things are. I can still use the seal. I can use the monkey again. The monkey's probably not very useful in the cave, to be fair. Oh, no. Gives you the seal for good reason in here. Oh. Ooh, don't stand there. Can I get up there? Probably not. That way I can. Nope. Get this one on. I've only got one hit left, so if I get hit again, I'm back to the checkpoint, which is not ideal. Oh, I jumped off that. The animations are a bit weird in this, I have to say. All the walk cycles, but again, it's a prototype, so maybe that's to be expected. There's a checkpoint there. Let's touch it. Good job I touched it. I'll continue at the checkpoint. Yeah, let's just seal. I'm doing quite badly here. Oh look, blended water. Doesn't really make extensive use of the blending. But I think this has improved since older versions of MAME, because the overall brightness of the image seems much more correct than it used to be, where a lot of the stuff was severely darkened. Ghosts and Goblin with the waterfall now. Get that out of the way. Can we get a boss now? Probably, yep. Enough. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad this is dumped, and this does seem to have original music, so, you know, could have easily become a lost piece of history, and it was found. Now we get a different character. We get the lion. It's a lion. Oops. Is it a lion? It's a lion. So we'll get. That really is Lion King. Oops. Anyway, we'll probably move on in a second. Blending on the clouds there. Still hot. Oh. Let me get out of line this time. Is that right? There we go. Far too easy to take damage with this lion. Ooh. Yeah, fell to my death. Anyway, that'll do for that one. Yes, it's a prototype. A pretty good prototype, to be fair. It's a shame it didn't get an official release somewhere. Who knows, maybe it's one of those that will be picked up and polished up for an actual modern release at some point. It definitely fits being a... they didn't program the damage. It definitely fits a console better than it would arcade, so who knows. But for now, you can play that one in MAME, and it does seem to look better with the latest F3 emulation. I don't know if Cleopatra's Fortune is improved at all, but we can have a little look at it. The high score screen had bad colours before. So that is one improvement Wyatt has pointed out there. So yeah, Recalhorn is improved.
Cleopatra Fortune.
I think everything was just too dark in it before. Yeah, it could have been a Dragon's Trout game, that's true. So I don't remember there being too many emulations issues with this one before, if any, but it's a fun little puzzle game, so worth a look still. You've got to enclose the pieces with the bricks, which is the general game mechanic. We'll coin it up and have a play.
Ready, go.
see him close that area. And it's another one of those with an excellent soundtrack, which probably is not a surprise at this point. Yeah, complete lines like that will disappear. You have to be careful. You do have to think a bit like Tetris, where you don't want to be blocking this, making it so that the base level is too high. Certain things won't fall down as they're meant to. Get that down there, just like that. I should probably look at some classic Taito games after this, you know, just to keep the mix right. Yeah, sometimes you have to try and lower the stack a little bit too. So there's a few different strategies you've got to consider at the same time when playing this one. I believe that the composers have them. I mean, it's good sound hardware, but yeah, I mean, just the people writing the music. If you were to ask me to write a tune for F3 hardware, it would sound as terrible as, well, worse than Wolf War 2. Ooh, that's less than ideal. That works. Slow again for a bit. Yeah, there's a plus version of this on MAME too. Not really sure what the plus version changes, but the plus version obviously doesn't run at full speed on most machines in MAME yet, so not really studied it much. Yeah, 3 lines. So, yes. Maybe one of the more overlooked puzzle games on F3. I mean, it's people talk about the puzzle bobble games and Landmaker, but yeah, it was good. We can close it. that up. Sooner rather than later. Past again. No. No, I think I messed up. Yeah, messed up. Co-developed by Natsume, was it? That's interesting. I didn't know that. They're not credited, are they? But yeah, a very good puzzle game there. As long as you don't mess up like I did there, you can play for a while.
Game over.
Yeah, they've all got really good soundtracks at them. So, we're going to stick with F3. Yeah, why not? The credits in the ending, are they? Yeah. Well, I didn't quite get that far. Arkanoid Returns. One of those that gameplay-wise I find is a little underwhelming. Doesn't really do enough to the formula for my liking, but we'll have a look at it and see if we appreciate the audio here too. Returns. 11 years after the original. Bit too sensitive for my liking. I have to turn this down. Also, the key mapping is no good. It was too bad. Let's bring that right down. Right. No, it's probably not sensible. We'll get there. Yeah, there's no real reason for them to have used a horizontal screen here, because the extra space is just wasted. It's an odd choice, especially when there were plenty of horizontal F3 games. No music in game. That's disappointing. Oh, there is some music. Just... I don't know. If I survive long enough to hear the music, I guess it's the thing. Yeah, it does. A lot of people overlook that fact. I mean, arcade audio systems would be quite powerful. If you emulate Q-Sound as a DSP, it also far outweighs the requirements of the rest of CPS2. But yes, the CPU requirements of these Taito sound emulations should not be underestimated. Same for the Zoom system used on GNet. I think that requires more CPU power than the rest of... I'm not going to put that as a stage, am I? I think that requires more CPU power than the rest of the PlayStation emulation. Music is really quiet. Yeah, and I'm not getting far enough for staying alive long enough for you to hear it. Yeah, I was never a fan of this one. So I don't like the way you still lose your powers. It follows that original rule where you can only have one power at once. And it even cancels all the extra balls on the double ball when you pick another one up, which is really off-putting because you don't really know which the primary ball is, and then suddenly you've got to track it. I don't know, I just think this is one of the weaker F3 games. So how am I meant to know which of those is the primary ball? So maybe it plays music after you've been alive a stage, because it seemed to be playing music then at the start of the stage, but now it's not. Oh, no, there, it starts the music that far into a stage. By which time, I'm already probably dead. Oh, yeah, you've got some music. If I die, we'll be starting again, so you're not going to hear much of this track. Yeah, I mean, they're both the spinner games, this and Pushy Carrot, but this is... never been a fan, and it's not winning me over this time either. Maybe it just needs the proper spinner. It's probably just not very good with a mouse either, but it just doesn't really innovate anything over the original game. It's just Arkanoid on a horizontal screen with some backgrounds and 2 players simultaneous mode, I think, and that's about it. And I mean, that's hardly the biggest draw for an Arkanoid. It's not even changing the backgrounds up between stages, you know. We've had this background for what, 4 stages so far? 5 stages now? Don't keep your power-ups between stages, so you know that nice big bat I had which was helping me. Go on. The first sequel had anything? I think it did a bit more. Arkanoid 2 felt like a bit of a step up. Tournament Arkanoid... I mean, Arkanoid 2 I think had power-ups that aren't even in this. This just seems to have the original Arkanoid power-ups, whereas 2 had a few new ones. Tournament Arkanoid was interesting in the sense that it was new level sets. But, the US version of Arkanoid 2 is especially different too, and it had moving blocks and things like that, which I'm not seeing in this, at least not yet. But yeah, this is just really reworking the original Arkanoid. Best I can tell. But yeah, I hate the way the other powers just get rid of your extra balls, because you never know. Level 6 we've still got the same background. But this is just... This feels more like a prototype than a lot of the prototype games. Maybe it just makes the highest ball up on the screen the primary ball when you get a different power up, but I don't know, it's just confusing. Because you'll be tracking one thing and then suddenly that won't be the ball you're tracking anymore. I mean, we can put Arkanoid 2 on next, I think, actually. The American version. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably very soon. Because, yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing another background in this one. Probably changed at level 10 or something, which it's too far for me to be getting to. Come on. And the other games have innovated in the genre far more since the game was released. I mean, you get things like Gigas on Amiga where you could curve the ball, and I don't know, as a follow-up 11 years later, this just feels a bit weak. And say, we'll just put Arkanoid 2 on as well, in fact. Briefly. The US version. So this US version has different levels to the other. Revenge of Doe. Cheat. No, I mean, I might have a look at it at another point, but I don't feel like very much for that. But yes. This is Arkanoid 2, especially the US version, where in fact, yeah, on Arkanoid 2, you do not lose the other balls when you get another power. That is a silly thing they've done on Returns. The extra, and R is reduced. R is a negative power up. I'm doing terribly here. Okay. I did not do very well there. I'm bad at Arkanoid, okay? It requires good reactions. I do not possess good reactions. Double pads, you see. Where was double pads in the other one? This has got like the ghost pad thing. That wasn't in Returns. The moving blocks inside there. You can see any of those in Returns. Look how many balls the multi-ball is in this version. Admittedly, some of this seems to have been overdone in the US release of Arkanoid 2. If you play the regular Arkanoid 2, at least early on, it doesn't seem quite so silly like that multi-ball there. But again, it's a better sequel than Returns is. Also, it feels a lot snappier. There was something about the controls in Returns that just didn't feel smooth. Felt like there was more latency, whereas in this one, but pretty good in terms. You know, I can move the back where I want to, apart from if I get a power up, which changes where my back is. Yeah, I think the super multi-ball might just be something they put in the US version. Oh, so I'm still doing very badly. This is one of those hold fire and press. And look, I can continue and my blocks are still half destroyed. I don't have to start the stage again. Oh, I got the reduced one. I didn't like that. Yeah. Super multi-ball. And look, the backgrounds are even changing between levels, even if it's a simple colour change. It feels fresh every time I get a new level. Yeah, how did Arkanoid Returns get so much wrong? We'll quickly change to the non-US set now. Yeah, that was the US set. If you look at the regular Arkanoid 2 release, it's a bit more standard. Yeah, it was a bit back to basics, but it was too basic. So yeah, the regular Arkanoid 2 starts with a more traditional looking level at the start. It's still got extra special blocks in it, but it's a flat wall. I don't think it offers you the silly power-ups just yet. So yeah, fairly regular multi-ball. You still have the blurry one. Not got the moving blocks yet either, which we introduced on the first level. I think for the US version, they wanted to show off all the new, well, a bunch of the new features on the first level. So they just remixed it a little bit. Whereas this version is more subtle in what it does. So it just still have a super multi-ball, but it's not quite as ridiculous. Let's get the stage. Yeah, I think Romstar knew to excite the American audiences they need to do a bit more. So they did. The point, it may be a little unbalanced, but still. Not the only time Romstar versions have unusual design changes. So they definitely had some influence on the process. But yeah, this is a far better game than Arkanoid Returns. So let's get back to F3 for a little bit. Arabian Magic, the game that in testing off stream I managed to crash several times. Probably won't crash it now on stream, but we'll see. Yeah, the US version is the Taito America Romstar. I guess they work together on the changes there. So apparently the cutscene text was missing before in MAME on this.
Let's see. Prince of Persia, but not Prince of Persia. Yeah, Arabian Fight and Arabian Magic are very easy to get confused. So this is where I soft locked it once and it didn't bring up the go. Somehow I got some enemies in the corner. Or was it the screen? It might have been the screen. With one of these screens, I managed to soft lock the game. It started there were sort of some enemies slowly moving towards the corner. They just went into the corner and I killed them. The game didn't progress. So yeah, I don't really know. And I also crashed the game here, I think, by using the magic just before... There you go. Zero divide and reset. I don't know. That seems to be a repeatable crash. Let's see.
I wonder if that's just the game. That might need testing on hardware. I've only been testing this version, but I think the only difference is the region bite. So I'd be surprised. I'm going to try and crash it again, but if you time the magic exactly right at the end there, yeah, it will do that. Oops.
I said there's a technique to crashing up here too, but I can't remember what it was. Sort of get the enemies up here like this or something. I don't think I've done it this time, but it was something like that. You got all the enemies up there as well, and it's soft lock. No, it's not done this time. There's actually an enemy come back on the screen. But the time I soft locked it, no enemy came back on the screen now. Can we crash the game again here? Let's see. Not every time, but... There. Nice. So yeah, you can always crash it there. I can't seem to reproduce the soft lock on the other area though. But, yeah, that's definitely a reproducible crash. I think it's to do with the magic and the boss appearing. I don't think it's to do with picking up the thing at the end. So, yeah, I doubt that's to do with the rewrite. I think that's just the game? Or a CPU bug, but probably just the game. Oh, it's a bad dump on every set. It's just a region hack of the set that was there. Which I would not rule out. Good move. Okay. I'm not going to use the magic at the boss, I'm just going to keep running. So yeah, it's not... So yeah, if I don't use the magic, it seems fine. Also, the mosaic effects on the text there, that is new, that is fixed in the emulation with the recent fixes, just to point it out. But I'm not pointing out silly little crashes. But yeah, I probably have to ask somebody with the multi-F3 to test that, because now I have it on video. To show you when I use the magic. I get to keep playing, yes. Let's see if I can break the game in the other ways. Protection? I doubt it. I mean, Taito didn't really use protection on these. The only case where there's something that looks a bit weird and needs a ROM patch is one of the Puzzle Bobble resets, and one of the prototype makes sense because I think the prototype board overlays the end of ROM. But one of the Puzzle Bobble resets, we have to patch the ROM, and it seems to be a checks and failures. So I think that might be a bad dump rather than protection too. But I don't know. Yeah, this is a somewhat underwhelming game. To the point that clearly the protagonist here does not wish to keep playing. Just jumping off a wall like that. Or a bridge, a ledge. Some big chests on there. Yeah, the mosaic effect again. That works now. That didn't used to work.
Game matters switching mythologies. Oh look, I'm really proper blending and flickery blending. I get the feeling this game didn't start on F3. Like it may have been developed on older hardware and then ported. So cutscene text that works, I believe, was broken before. Look, magic carpet. No pretty road scroll either, just plain scroll. Really feels minimal effort. I still need to look at the missing row scroll effect on Pulley Ruler actually, because I do not understand how that's meant to work. Because things like the shadows on Pulley Ruler, which is not an F3 game, are meant to have a row scroll effect, and it's not there in that. Yellow flash might be a blending effect. But yeah, this is flickering all over the place where it could use blending, so again it just feels like a game that wasn't originally designed for F3. Look, boss flickered when I hit it, but boss meter doesn't decrease smoothly. Yeah. It's just not a good game. At least that's my feeling on it. Very lazy looking continue box too, with an ugly font, and it's just boss gone. It's got different moves where you can. Oh look, it's got a. It's actually using a blending effect, I believe. The storm doesn't look good, but you know, the sandstorm. Ooh, zoom. Oh. Yeah, you can do the sort of jump thing like that, but yeah, it's very basic. Unless I'm missing something like special moves, but you don't get much in the way of a moveset, from what I can tell. You know, the soundtrack isn't even great on this one, if we're fair. It's not terrible, but compared to some of the other soundtracks we've heard, it's not outstanding. Better than a lot of games, but it's Karnov. But it's not Karnov. This is not a Bakery thing. Did I air parry? I don't know, maybe. Maybe I can air parry. Maybe I just don't want to find out. But yeah, that is Arabian magic. There are some improvements. The mosaic effect between stages on the text, the cutscene text now appears. So, you know, worth showing off the improvements, but game? Not so much. Not so much. Right, let's switch to... I think it's a vertical game. Is it a vertical game? I think it's a vertical game. It's not a vertical game. I always think Zookeeper's a vertical game. It's not a vertical game. It's still a horizontal game. Sorry. But yes, a bit of a classic Taito now. One of the Taito American games, Zookeeper. You've got to keep the animals inside the cage while jumping over them. And yeah.
Every time you go over an area, it rebuilds the wall. Which, I'm going to stop them getting out, really. Jump over them. So these Taito America games feel very much like Williams games. Right? I mean, the hardware is similar to Rainbow type stuff. The sound effects and everything are very Williams. They just feel like Williams games, not Taito games. You know, they feel like Defender and the like. You can imagine this being, you know, programmed by the same people as Robotron or something like that, but it wasn't. There you go, got the net. Did Jeff meant to work for Taito at some point? I do not believe so, but I see your point. But yes. You just have that feel to them. I mean, it's beyond the hardware similarities. The gameplay just feels like similar design principles. Oh dear. Well, I died on that section. But look at the board. Look how Williams that border is. And the high score table. It's just like, this is what an American game has to look like, so let's make it look like this. Yeah, is this in the cage? You do have to remember to change the direction you're pressing as you go around. You can't just keep holding one direction, which is surprising. Yep, that gets them back in there, so it's time to get his money back in before the bonus time. There we go. Yeah, there were lots of games that were very flashy at the time. Again, that was the sort of hallmark of the those rhythm games too, though. But yeah. There we go. Oh. Yes, it's a. Yeah, we have another credit. That one more credit. Every sound is skip. It does have some amazing sounds. This is true. What counts things up at the end is, again, very American video game era. I'm surprised this one isn't talked about more. Just to me, it's one of those absolute, classic Taito games. But I guess maybe it just doesn't feel enough like a Taito game, so. Yeah, it's an underrated classic. Zookeeper Man should be as famous as Mario. Or at least as famous as the main character from Nintendo Game & Watch's Lion. Which was a similar concept-ish. Lion could have been called Zookeeper. And done by Taito. Even the slowdown is right up there for American video games. I got coping. And a bonus keeper. No. I got cubited. Get a second chance. No, I can't. There we go. Zookeeper. Taito America Corporation. I think we've seen enough of that one, but let's have another look at let's wait for me. Let's have a look at Liquid Kids, which again I feel is a rather underrated game. Yeah, most of those Taito America games feel like that though. Shut Up Atom. It's very, very strange, but that is just how it is. So here's another one of the cutesy Taito games that isn't on F3 system. Aussie guy giving the Japanese title fit there. Use your water. And your big balls of water if you hold down the fire button. And you don't do that because that's very silly. And Golden, just like New Zealand story. This does feel very like it's taking cues from New Zealand story, just without the 8-way scrolling and flying. And obviously with a heavy dose of water. And a bit of Bones Adventure thrown in for good measure. And some Bobble. It's very much a hybrid of everything Taito. And that's a good thing. You can turn your water wheels around the right way if you want to actually get up there. The platypus, yes. The classic Taito font as well, isn't it? So. This game is extremely Taito, yes. Pretty much the opposite of what we were just looking at with Zookeeper, you're right, Atom. Fire flower. Oops. Yeah, I wanted to show a good variety of games. We've not done any of the driving games and things like that on these streams, but there was always time. I need a strategy for this. Oh dear, not that. Jumping flash, yes. Right, I have forgotten the boss strategy though. Not getting that close to the fire. It's a good strategy. You can't attack it unless it's got its mouth open, but it kills you when it's got its mouth open, yeah. Yeah. There we go. Not so difficult in the end. And it falls apart. Select either door. Weird blending effects. Feels like it's missing a sound effect there. Probably isn't, but it feels like it is. Like, there should be a death sound effect that's not playing, but I don't know. That would be weird. This is on PC Engine 2. I think it might have been. Speaking. Okay, I don't like it when you've got water enemies, because they're a bit difficult to see, because you're fighting water. Water is meant to be your friend. Again, it's kind of very New Zealand story now, because it does scroll in the 8 directions again. You can see it's doing a colour palette effect on the sprites when they were behind the water, which is kind of fancy. Right, we'll see if we get a bit further. And then we will, somewhere. Also on the Saturn. I think it was also meant to be on the Amiga and stuff, wasn't it? But it got cancelled. Is that one I'm thinking of?
Let's go for distinctly non-arcade, but should have been arcade. The classic Parasol Stars. Now, how this wasn't a real arcade game, I will never know. This is the story of Bubble Bobble 3. No, not actually Bubble Bobble 3, just the story of Bubble Bobble 3. This is the PC Engine version. I think the flickery line at the bottom is MAME's PC Engine emulation not being the best, unfortunately. But we can live with that. It's not game breaking. Yes, this is a proper follow-up to Bubble Bobble. Really should have been a proper arcade game. Yeah, they right promotion and unreleased. That's what I thought, Aussie guy. Have they been leaked? I think they might have been. I think you can play them these days, can't you? Well, again, maybe I'm thinking something else. This had a pretty good Amiga port, all things considered. I mean, I'm quite fond of the NES version, limited as it is. But yeah, this is the arcade quality original on the PC Engine. It was clearly designed as if it was an arcade game. It's got a full credit system in place, as you can see in the corner. It just acts as if it was an arcade game that just doesn't accept coins, and gives you a set number of credits. And it's probably a little bit easier than it would have been had it been an arcade. Oh, that was a bad start. Good, you can usually get the water to go down and get these. There's most of them. Just give up and do that. Okay. I'm not going to lose lives on. I'm doing terribly. This is not a level to be losing lives on. Again, bonus items appearing all over the place depending on what you throw across the level and things like that. Yeah, they've done a really... This is really polished. And I don't find it that hard to tell what kills you and what doesn't on this one. I'm just playing it badly at the moment. I used to be actually rather good at this, but not so much anymore. So, extra credit, wasn't it? Yeah, coin. Yeah, very Bubble Bobble in the sense that you pick up a power-up that affects what you do, and when you've got the power-up, you form bubbles on top of your umbrella by holding it up, and then it does the power. So, nice easy boss, the first one there. And bonus things are very Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble. Yeah, it's a Bubble Bobble Rainbow Islands style boss strategy. Like I say, it's a proper sequel. Scoring stages now. The same applies in the levels. If you clicked all of them, you get the bigger power up, I think. Miracle. Another one up. Some more bonus items. Do that and get rid of a whole bunch of them. There we go. It's a nice simple clear. Fell on the enemy, that wasn't clever. Yeah, very cute, very Taito. One of a number of Taito games that didn't release the arcades. I mean, they weren't only an arcade developer and publisher, but, although this has mostly been focused on the arcade releases. Instant respawn. Yeah, it's designed as if it were an arcade game. All the design principles are arcade game. It just never actually was one officially. Only unofficially via bootleg arcade systems, which was just the PC Engine on timer. Same sort of power items as Classics 2. There we go. The crosses, just like in Bobble games, are just sort of screen clearing effects. Enemy spawner. I mean, it really encourages you to try and use better techniques to clear the levels and your brute force. Oh, we died. And being as it's like an arcade game, I'm not going to use the continue. Again, it's got a continue screen just like an arcade game. I'm actually surprised none of the bootleggers put more effort into bootlegging it properly and just re-adding the proper credit system rather than the timer, because I'm sure it wouldn't actually take much effort because all the basic code is there. Anyway, that was Parasol Stars. Let's have a look at something rubbish. Taito licensed the Space Invaders plug and play to Radica. Interestingly, it's got Phoenix on it, which was sold by Taito in some regions, but it wasn't actually made by Taito. But I guess at the time of this being released, Taito had the license to Phoenix. We will have a look at something simple on it. We'll just have a quick look at Lunar Rescue on it. Yeah, there was the Jammer PC, various bootlegs of it, but they really should have just done a better job of making it a proper arcade game, rather than all the ones that were on timers. So a bit of knockoff Lunar, well, not knockoff, a bit of licensed Lunar Rescue. Unfortunately, a very minimal effort version of it, because this is not the best plug and play in the world, if we're kind. Not the worst one either, but I failed. Have I? No, I can still do that. There you go. This is missing a lot of the sound effects, but that's not an emulation problem. That is just, again, this is a very lazy plug and play. Yep, Phoenix was developed by Kawadenshi Gaiken for Taito. But, not typically known as a Taito game, because most of the times if you saw it, would be the Amstar version. Well, maybe in Japan it was known better as a Taito game. But yeah, this is a cheap plug and play thing, which I thought we'd just put on for a bit of fun. I'm not going to put on the Zavix Taito nostalgia things, even though they're actually quite good. But we've seen them on other streams. This was licensed, yeah. This was licensed. I mean, you've got the license screen on startup, but it's not the highest quality. That thing coming at us now. We're just having a very quick blast of it. Yeah, we can have a look at something similar. Oh dear. And there we go. I mean, Radical Arcade Legends, Space Invaders. It's got a few games on it. But let's see something even worse. PDP, Performance Design Products, put out this one, which was licensed by Taito and Data East. Oh boy, this is another Space Invaders licensed product. Yeah, look, Space Invaders, copyright Taito, 1978, 2006. And this is terrible. It says part 2. It's got horrible control latency. Look how the aliens move when they get to the end of a line. They slide down. It's missing any sound effects of the aliens exploding. It's the bullets move. Your bullet moves like half the frame rate is meant to. Yeah, so at the wrong speed. Yeah, Taito licensed this, and somehow gave their approval to this piece of junk. This is nasty. Words can't really describe how bad this feels to play. You can tell just how bad the movement is and how incorrect it is. It's like they just saw a photo of Space Invaders and never played Space Invaders, even though this was 2006 and they would have full access to MAME and decent Space Invaders emulators and you know everything. They just put out this bloody piece of junk. No, this is just it. This is just how it is. Look at them slide. Do Space Invaders slide, everybody. I don't know why. I don't even know why I'm playing this. I guess just to show the junk that Taito would sometimes license, provide a license to. There's so much latency on the. Oh, look, you get the SOS thing there. This is really terrible, yeah. But this is an officially licensed product. Somehow. Oh, look, game over. Let's not play with it. I mean, it's not as bad as this. Yep, they've done the Puzzle Bobble title animation, but called it Buster Move.
and it just plays like absolute garbage. The sound emulation isn't perfect, so look at it. It doesn't have any of the proper scoring in place or anything. This does play like absolute crap. The aiming's off. The movement of the cursor is all over the place and speeds up and slows down. And yeah. Sadly, that's not just the emulation. I did test this on the original hardware, and yeah, it's this bad. The sound is a bit better, but that's about it. Maybe let's not play any more of this, because it's terrible. Back to not terrible things for a little bit. What have we got left? Okay, yeah, let's play that. Let's play Pop and Pop. Though we are over 3 hours now, so I should probably be calling an end to this Twitch stream shortly, because it's that's quite a lot of streaming you've had so far today. It was light out there when I started. That's a port to Sun Plus hardware shutter pattern. It's actually the same game as released in some plug and plays as Squirrel Bobble without the actual characters, and it's just as bad there. I was thinking I'd like to see Bubble Buster, so yeah, we may look at that shortly too. But let's play Pop and Pop for now. Play versus CPU. I don't have my strategies for this right now. I'm about to lose very quickly by forgetting how to even play the game. I think I might. I won somehow, without playing well. Mr. Cloud, which was a bad idea. No, don't do that. Very silly. Pop and Pop.
And I lost. Never mind, never mind, never mind. We won't continue. I don't see much use of blending effects in this one, so this one might not have benefited from the F3 improvements. I don't know. Anyway. Cute game. There is a puzzle mode too, which is probably more fun than the versus mode, and it to be quite fair. Another fairly late release, 1997. But yeah, if you've not played this one, definitely give it a try. I think we will quickly look at Bubble Buster by request of Aussie Guy, and this will likely be the final game of the stream. This is the prototype version of Puzzle Bobble that was going to be for the US market. Pop and Pop was developed by Dreams for Taito. Dreams was formed by Tomohiro Nishikaido, the designer of Space Invaders, in 1996. That's interesting. Yeah, it just had a Space Invaders feel to it, doesn't it? So yes, this is Taito's Let's Make It Not Cute for the US audiences or export audiences version of Puzzle Bobble that was thankfully cancelled. And we got the full proper version of Puzzle Bobble on the Neo Geo. Otherwise, history could have been very different, and I don't think the game would have succeeded at all with this theming. But it is dumped and preserved. And as I said before, they didn't give up when this one didn't make it to market. They tried again and actually released Buster Move again, which is the 3-cartridge version, which also lacks the ball dragons and any of the cutesy stuff. In fact, just has you having a creepy floating hand. Yes, it's much better than that whole plug and play one. That is true. It shows how much difference good programming makes. You can have a very good concept, and if you execute it as badly as that plug and play, nobody will ever want to play it. I feel sorry for anybody who got one of those thinking they were going to get anything like a decent puzzle bobble experience, because, oh dear, you did not. That's bad. I'm not meant to fail already, but there you go. I think they removed the dragons because, say, they seem to do the same with Buster Move again. And we've seen Taito not wanting to make cutesy things for other audiences a few times. I think they were just getting some market feedback from the US that was, we don't want cute things, we want Mortal Kombat.
not talk about this. Anyway, yes, I'm not usually this bad at Puzzle Bobble. I guess I'm getting a bit tired after streaming for quite this long. So anything else I need to show? Not really. I've not shown Ring Rage, but that one is one of the ones that benefits from a palette improvement that is not yet in MAME. So yeah, for this pair of Taito streams, I think I'm done for now. I will be uploading the VOD of this to YouTube as the follow-up, because otherwise only one part of this will be on YouTube. But yeah, other than that, thank you all for being here, and thank you to those who hopped over from the YouTube stream. I know it's been a bit quieter here, but it has made the latter half of this a little bit easier for me, because I've not had quite as much in the way of chat to catch up with. But I appreciate everybody being here and everybody having a nice chat, and Ozzy obviously with his usual facts. So yeah, thank you everybody. It's been good, and I hope I will see you soon. I would like to try and do more streams this month, but real life work demands are quite high. I mean, I'm currently working with a limited run on some of the carbon engine stuff. I know Clock Tower was recently announced, which is one of the ones I've been working on. So yeah, that's keeping me busy, not leaving that much time for streams. But yeah, hopefully I'll find time to squeeze one or two in during the month. If not, I'll see you when I see you. Thank you everybody, and take care.